Oh my God, they can't even drink.
Yeah, no. It was crazy. I had to do I had to look up the timeline stuff because they didn't give an age. They gave an actual time in their timeline. I'm like, oh, man, I got to do math. Had to go figure out when certain events took place. I'm like, I guess we're just... So, 20-ish. Maybe 21, maybe 19. Somewhere in those couple years.
Somewhere within that range.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, let's get into it. Youth. Rowan and her twin, Will, were born after a witch had enthralled their father, Rowan Kenrith, and lived with him for a year. It's a long time to keep someone enthralled.
Right.
I feel like.
Just a lot.
Yeah.
I think it gets real dark real quick.
Cool.
Because their birth mother would kill the newborns for their blood, which she would have drunk to extend her life. When Alginus regained his consciousness and he killed the witch, at the same time, their adoptive mother gave up her sword's powers to restore the life of the twins and took them in as her children. Yeah, it got dark real quick in their life.
That was also a lot. Like, holy cow.
Right?
Well, I see why why she kept him around, but that did not end up working very well for her.
Not so well.
All right, so let's get into the Wildered Quest. That's a weird name. Okay, so 18 years old, the twins' quest for their missing father, the High King, who has been abducted by the Planeswalker Oko and Guruk Wildspeaker. Was that good?
I think it's Garruk, but again, when it comes to magic, I'm going off of what I hear.
I mean, if Netflix actually gets their stuff together and makes a show about it, we actually might get to hear some of these words said out loud. That would be nice.
It really would. It'd be nice if they'd hurry up on that.
Right?
Speaking of words I don't know how to pronounce. Indralon, I'm going with.
Let's go with it.
The magic mirror would reveal the location of their father and that he had been transformed into a stag. Later on, Will rescues Garruk from certain death. His act of braveness and persistence summons the Cauldron of Eternity, which would cure the hunter of his Chainveil curse. Because at this point, Garruk still had that curse from Liliana when he tried to attack her years and years and years ago.
Oh, yeah. We kind of
he was still hunting planeswalkers at this point.
Ooh. I have him too.
Yeah.
He's a terrifying transformation. All right, so let's get into the twins fail to protect the stag from the wild hunt, but Alginus is brought back to life by his wife, Lyndon. This all happens near a witch's cottage at the fringe of the wilds. Actually, the house where the twins had been born. All comes back.
So weird coincidences.
Right.
But I also love that literally the entire bloodline has died and been brought back at one point. Now.
It's family tradition. Like Skywalker's getting their hands cut off.
God, it really is. I hope that the twins don't have any kids.
Ooh, they just drown them right out the womb and that to resuscitate them. They're like, get this over with before they have memory.
Oh, that'd be the best way to do it if you're going to do it.
Right?
As dark as that was. So, as Lyndon reveals the shocking truth about their origins, Rowan becomes upset that they hadn't been told this earlier. The shock ignites the twins' planeswalker spark and they disappear. Garruk, who is thankful for his cure, promises the king and queen to track their children and keep them safe. Because, so I guess being twins, they end up having a shared spark. So they both became planeswalkers.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, how lame, how upset would you be as a twin?
I'd be so mad if my twin had the spark and I didn't, and they just disappear for these grand quests.
I mean, like, I get that, but like, I just feel there's a little bit of that, like, the shared spark. It's like, great, we share a birthday, we had to share toys and that, now we have to share this. Are you kidding me?
Like, I guess if you go with that view of the...
I was more just thinking of, like, the twins I've met who hate the fact that they had to share everything.
That is true. I didn't even think about that part. I just went to, what if my twin got it and I didn't?
I don't know I feel as though would be worse.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a twin, so I couldn't tell you.
Wouldn't know either. Just like one twin having a birthday party while the other one's just forced to stand outside and watch. We're getting dark on this episode. Wasn't prepared for that. Okay, so let's get into it. Kylem?
I have no idea. I've never even heard of this word.
I'm going with Kylem because I like it.
Up until I even did this research, I didn't even know this was a thing.
Okay, it's shocking for you. You know more about the Magicverse than I do. Okay, so Rowan competed with her brother at the Stadium of Valor's Reach in Kylem. No one knew where the mysterious pair came from or why they felt the need to test themselves on Valor's Reach. I mean, people be fighting.
Now I'm wondering if this is that Battle Bond set where they debuted as cards.
Oh,
where it was about fighting in an arena.
That's probably 100% where this takes place.
Maybe. As you're reading that, I started thinking, I wonder if this is a thing. Because it's the only place I can think of. Because, that's where their cards debuted.
And that would have kind of fit with this timeline of debuting.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Figuring things out. Solving magic puzzles.
But anyone who would face them in battle would realize very quickly their ability to reinforce each other's powers was a force to be reckoned with, and the champions would become champions of the twins would become champions of Valor's Reach.
I mean, that's kind of cool though. Like the whole twin concept, boosting each other's abilities.
Right, working with each other on it. And at this point, they've had at least. Well, it was 18 when they found out about their origins and became Planeswalkers. So 18, 19. They've been fighting with each other for years and training.
Gotta wonder if they got that twin ESP.
Probably at least a little bit of it.
Heck yeah. The siblings were invited to join Strixhaven as students to Casmina. Casmina? We're going with that.
By Casmina.
Casmina. While Will fit right in, Rowan had problems adjusting. Moreover, Rowan seemed to lose control over her magic, often crackling with electricity when she lost her temper. Ooh.
But yeah, Strixhaven, that was the set that if you think of essentially Harry Potter in the Magic universe. Where it was the school of magic, and then you had each different quote-unquote houses.
Oh, okay, and like the different classes of magic.
Yeah, so you had the different pairings that were like the blue-green, the black-green, were each of their house.
Okay.
And then you learn throughout the story that Casmina was going around finding planeswalkers to study there.
Huh.
Almost like she was trying to help them learn. Because it seemed like she was going and finding new planeswalkers, specifically.
I mean, probably not the worst person to be teaching them.
Right. So the twins' arguments would become a full-on quarrel before they were stopped by Professor Onyx. She noticed that they were planeswalkers and tasked them with coming up with a defense against an auric attack. While Will studied the books, Rowan would try to gain more power. Yeah, she, unlike her brother, was definitely the more hands-on. She was the jock.
Ha!
He was the bookie. She was the jock.
It's kind of sounding like she needs to learn how to hone her stuff, though. I think maybe figure out how to control it before you get more of it.
Well, unfortunately, her color was red. They're not good at that.
Oh, yeah. I'm remembering exactly what card she is. I have both of them.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So after the Auric and an army of mage hunters begin their attack on Strixhaven, Rowan set out to find her brother after the arrival of the founder dragons. Rowan and Will were reunited and saved from the Auric attack by Professor Onyx.
And for those who don't know, Professor Onyx is Liliana. That was the name she was going by at this point to kind of hide.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ah, you tricky little witch.
Because apparently, I don't remember if you learned it through the story, but she was actually a student here at one point too, which I think is why she went back to it. It was a safe place for her.
I was gonna say makes sense. It makes sense in that when somebody's wounded, they generally go to where's place that's familiar.
Yep. So, realizing that the larger assault was only a misdirection, Professor Onyx would guide the twins through an old maintenance passage to an area underneath the biblioplex, a giant library. They would find Extus Nar, I'm hoping that's right,
We're going with it.
who had bound himself to an immense power source called the Snarl. As they attempted to intervene, Professor Onyx was translocated away, leaving only Rowan and Will to face Extus and a summoned war entity known as the Blood Avatar.
Oh, that sounds not at all terrifying.
Oh God, no! You see your professor just whisked away somewhere. It's like, oh, I'm left with this.
Right? It's like, okay, so our professor just got like blooped out.
To who knows where?
Who knows where? And as far as I'm concerned, she was more powerful than us, and now we are looking at, I don't know, what is that, plasma?
Who knows?
So realizing that Rowan had grown in strength during her stay with Strixhaven, but Will had grown in control, they once again joined their powers, with Rowan drawing on the power of the Snarl and redirecting it to Will. Her brother managed to wrestle control over the Blood Avatar away from Extus Nar. The Avatar killed the Auric leader and was sent back from where it came, but not before gravely wounding Will. Because of course.
Which also, unfortunately, I think because we're going through her story, that's all it says about that. We don't really learn anything else about what happened to Will.
Okay, cool.
Which I just realized because I missed that part apparently.
Oh, that's a bit of a cliffhanger. We'll have to do an episode on him at some point, I suppose.
At least a small one, because I feel up until the end that we're getting to, not much is going to change.
Cool.
So, into the Phyrexian invasion, which outside of this little line, we really know nothing about what they were doing during this time. So during the new Phyrexian invasion of the multiverse, Rowan and Will's parents would be killed by the invaders while defending Castle Ardenvale. And yeah, that's really all we got during that time, and we don't know if they were fighting, what was going on, or what happened.
Okay. Also, dead parents, always. So in the let's get to the Wicked Slumber. God, I could use one of those right now.
Right.
So in the aftermath of the invasion, the twins unknowingly lost their shared spark. I feel like you should notice that.
Well, I don't know the full story behind that, but a lot of Planeswalkers lost their sparks during this.
I remember that, yeah.
But I don't remember
why it happened.
I haven't really read into any of that.
Wasn't it something with Nicole?
No, that was something different. Years before this.
Oh, okay.
But no, because this had to do with the invasion of Phyrexia, or that the Phyrexia did. But at this point, sets are coming out so fast, I can't keep up with the story.
It is hard. They're just oversaturated, it feels like.
So, as the curse of the Wicked Slumber would seize the people of Eldraine, tension would escalate between the Kenrith twins. 6 months after the invasion, during single combat between Will and Imodain, Rowan cut a massive rift into a nearby mountain, earning it the name Stormcutter Mountain.
Yeah. Okay, that's
fitting.
Yeah, fitting. Makes sense. So, desperate to find a cure for the Wicked Slumber, she enlisted the help of a weaver named Royce. Traveling to an abandoned castle, she receives a vision of her parents in a dream, urging her to return to Castle Ardenvale. Which, I mean, like, dreams always...
It's never great when you get those.
No, and it's just... You ever just notice in the stories, it's never what they think? Like, to the point where it's like, it's always the opposite of whatever they think the message is.
Oh, every time.
When they're like, oh, I bet it's a trap. It's not a trap. They're legitimately trying to help you. And whenever they're like, they're trying to help me, it's a trap.
Every time. And this, I'm pretty sure, was a trap.
Cool.
Yeah, so once there, she'd be greeted by the Planeswalker Ashiok, who was a nightmare Planeswalker who fed on people's nightmares. Last time we saw her, or it, Ashiok doesn't really have a gender as far as I remember. The last time we saw Ashiok, they were messing with Elspeth in the afterlife.
I remember this one. I liked this one.
So she'd be greeted by Ashiok and the witch Iratet. I have no idea.
Iriot?
We'll go with, what'd you say?
Iriot?
We'll go with that. Who informed her of her lost spark and familial connection to the witch. Searching for a way to increase her power and protect the citizens of Eldraine, Rowan would join her aunt. Of course, they gotta have an evil witch somewhere in the family.
God, right? I mean, every family has one, I feel, even in our reality. So when her brother arrives at the castle to end the curse, the two fought. Will was able to defeat Ashiok, with the help of Killan and Ruby, and his knights captured Ariat though Rowan was able to escape. So she just like turncoats and like goes straight up evil.
Kind of. They both look to do the same thing, just in their own ways.
Okay.
Because he picked up, originally they were both monocolored Planeswalkers, but he picked up white and she picked up black. So they definitely picked up the opposite spectrum of each other.
She's Anakin.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
She was far more aggressive in the way she wanted to help fix the curse.
Okay.
He was more in the keeping order in the plane. Because at this point, he also... no, we'll save that for if we ever do the second half of his story.
Okay, fair.
So, a few little fun facts is, according to Liliana, in 4561, which is about the time they were at Strixhaven, she would say, this girl is a force to be reckoned with already. A few more years and she'll truly be terrifying.
That's
scary coming from one of the most powerful Planeswalkers
I was
going to
say, that's a pretty terrifying statement coming from Liliana.
I was like, knowing how strong she is as a Planeswalker and the power she holds, for her to say somebody's terrifying.
Yeah, I'd argue she's definitely top 5.
Potentially.
Like, there's some
She's
power.
definitely in top 10.
Okay, top
I don't know
10.
if I'm not positive as much as I love Lily. I don't know if it's 5, but definitely top 10.
Okay, we'll go top 10 then. I'm like, I forgot, there are quite a few Planeswalkers.
Oh, God, there's so many.
Yeah. So another fun fact, her magic is also powerful enough to propel her into the air when aimed downward.
Which I thought was just kind of cool.
That reminds me of like the whole Dragon Ball Z blast Key blast being able to push them if they let
Pretty much, yeah, because like I guess her magic is more like electricity based.
Oh.
So it's almost like she's got an electric engine going.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, well, that's kind of all we got for Rowan. That's kind of all we got for Rowan, and I guess I'll ask the question I ask every week. You a fan, Joker?
I am between, like, when I got their cards and I've continued buying them, I always felt more towards her character. Like, I don't know if there's always the aggressiveness out of it, because I'm not much of a control player.
I could see that.
And then reading her story, I was like, nah, I definitely, I feel with her. I get it.
I definitely enjoy her in the sense, like, she's definitely a multi-dimensional character.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a cut and dry. She's definitely a fun character. I kind of like it.
And I'm really excited.
Heck yeah. Well, especially with these crazy. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Rowan's got one head. For anyone that's still listening, you got something out of this? Enjoyed the episode? Or even like the character or movie, comic, cartoon? Hell, even that teacher that you saw one time. If you're a fan, too. If you want to jump on this train, why not subscribe and share with a friend? Dick Rail out. Y'all keep riding them rails.